Here we are on the eve of Kelly Gissendanner's scheduled execution. The question is, what's next for her supporters? The Georgia woman is set to be executed tomorrow night. She would be the first woman since 1945. Gissendanner was convicted of conspiring with her lover to kill her husband. She was sentenced to die by a Gwinnett County grand jury. The previous execution date was in March, but the event was postponed then because of a visible problem with the drug used for lethal injections. That has now all been resolved. Joining me now is Atlanta attorney Pate as we look at the legal aspect of this case. So after this delay in March, we actually had another one before that because of the snowstorm, but now here we are. Are we at the end of the road?
I think we are, but I think Ms. Gissendanner finally has an opportunity to avoid the death penalty. The Board of Pardons and Paroles has agreed tomorrow to rehear her application for clemency. They denied it back in February, but there's new evidence now.
What about the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, though?
That's another track. Her lawyers are also appealing the federal judgment issued today denying her legal challenge to the execution. So we have two things going on at once. We've got the appeal to the 11th Circuit, the legal case, but we also have the clemency petition going in front of the Board of Pardons and Paroles. So she could win either way.
All right, so the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals in place still.
Right.
But the Board of Pardons and Paroles, what are the chances that that would supersede whatever the appeals court?
Well, they're two different things. I don't anticipate she has much of a chance with the 11th Circuit. They've already heard this case. They've already denied it. Pardons and paroles is very different. They're supposed to consider other things than the law. What has she been like in prison? What does her family think about this?
And of course, as we know, her children want her to live.
Absolutely. They've already been through one tragedy. That was 20 years ago. They've reconciled with her mother. They do not want her to die. So the parole board is going to consider that, and also the testimony for the first time of people at the prison, people she's worked with, people she's served with.
So let me get this straight. The Board of Pardons and Parole could vacate this decision? She actually could get off of death row?
They can commute her sentence, yes. They can take her off of death row and give her life in prison.
All right, she gets the death penalty. The man she conspired to kill her husband with, the man who actually pulled the trigger, gets life in prison, not death. So how do you reconcile these two?
It's really tough. And I think Justice Fletcher, who was on the Georgia Supreme Court back when her appeal first came through, he decided along the other justices that it's okay, that's proportional, but he's changed his mind. And I think a lot of people have a problem with this. The guy that stabbed her husband with the knife, he's up for parole in a few years. He got 25 years because he didn't go to trial. He cut a deal. She goes to trial, which she has a right to do. But because of that, she's the one on death row. He's up for parole in a few years.
All right, leaves a lot of gaps and a lot of questions about our penal system. But is there a great significance in the fact that she, if in fact she is executed tomorrow night, will be the first in some 70 years here in Georgia? Is there a great significance there?
I think so. I mean, we don't see many women on death row in Georgia. We don't see many across the country. And then you combine that with the fact that she didn't even pull the trigger here, I think it makes it a very exceptional case, and that's why I think the parole board may step in.
All right,
this
I'm
time.
Putting you on the hot seat here. Do you think it's going to happen tomorrow?
I think for the first time, a lot of people have hope that it won't happen, because I think pardons and paroles, in this particular case, with this set of facts, they could commute her sentence to life in prison. I think she has a good chance of that.
All right, sort of the intersection here of punishment and redemption.
Right.
Let's see who wins out. All right, Pate, always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thanks.
The FBI